All right, as usual, the quick, short turnaround. Blue Devils have Caleb Deere on the mound. He's from Overland Park, Kansas, has a 1.69 ERA. His record is 3-1, 15 appearances, 51 and 2/3 innings. He has 50 strikeouts and 22 base on balls. So the tall lefty on the mound. He'll have Nolan the fourth, Dirksen, Smock left to right across the outfield. Perry, Pachorik, Barham, and Santiago left to right across the infield with Kirkham behind the plate. So we get ready to go here in this second game. The Blue Devils won the first one 18-3 in 7 innings. Isaiah White, Zimmerman, and Holmes will lead things off for the Scotties. White was 2 for 3 in the first game, had a couple of base hits and a couple of stolen bases. He'll lead things off here and face Caleb Deere. First pitch from Deere was ball 1, 1-0 the count. Reminder, this is a 7-inning game because of impending weather. There's a foul ball out of play. Because of the impending weather, we chose to go with the 9-inning game first. It has a bearing with tiebreakers, so we wanted to be sure and get it in. 1-1 the count. There's a strike right through there. One and two the count now on Isaiah White, the left fielder. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. That's going to bring up Zimmerman. Zimmerman was also 2 for 3 in the first game. Had a couple of base hits. He'll step in to face Deere for the first time with 1 out and nobody on. In the dirt, blocked by Kirkham. Comes the 1-0 pitch and missed a little bit inside. Pretty good looking pitch right there. Ruled the ball. 2-0 the count. Welcome back. Thanks for joining us in the second game. Blue Devils won the first one 18-3. There's a swing and a miss. So 2-1 the count. Foul ball actually out in front of that, cued it off the end of the bat. So 2-2 the count now. Tall lefty Caleb Deere on the mound for the Blue Devils in this second game. Zimmerman at the plate. That's high and outside. So 3-2 the count on the center fielder, Dylan Zimmerman. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. That's going to bring up Holmes. Holmes was 1 for 3 in the first game. Had a base hit, a strikeout, and a fly out to left field. He'll step in with 2 down and nobody on to face Caleb Deere. There's a strike at the belt inside part of the zone. Comes the pitch. That's in the dirt. 1-1 the count. That's outside. 2-1 the count. It's high and outside. So 3-1 the count. That's high and outside for ball 4. So a 2-out walk issued to Holmes. That's going to bring up Gage Hansel. Hansel was 0 for 3 in the first game. Pop out, a strikeout, and reached on a fielder's choice. That's up a bit. 1-0 the count. High and inside. 1-0 the count. Three and 0 the count. Okay, it was 1-0 the count. Now it's 2-0. Heck, I don't know what it is now. I've not seen him put up a thing. It must have been 3-0. Now we can get a good start here. So back-to-back strikeouts. Now back-to-back walks. And that's going to bring up the third baseman, Bishop.
Next up, third baseman, number 21, Noah Bishop.
Bishop was 1 for 2 in the first game. Had a base hit and a base on balls. That misses just a little bit up. 1-0 the count. There's a strike outside corner. At the knees, 1-1 the count. My assessment so far with this umpire is that if Deer works down in the zone, he'll do just fine. There's a one hopper to Pachorik. A nice hop comes up after the runner comes by over to Barham at second base. No runs, no hits. Couple of walks with a couple of guys left on. No runs for the Scotties there in the top half of the first. Blue Devils coming up. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the first inning. Noah Strain is the pitcher for the Scotties. He's from Edmond, Oklahoma. His numbers, 11.49 ERA, 0-3 is his record. He's been in 8 games. 15 2/3 of an inning he's pitched. 14 strikeouts, 17 walks. So we might take a few pitches and see if he can throw some strikes today. He's a righty on the mound. Pachorik takes strike one. Pachorik was 3 for 4, had 3 base hits, and all 3 of them with RBI. Also had a walk, and strike 2 is called. So quickly 0-2 the count. I guess that may answer my question about throwing strikes, if that's the way it'll be the whole time. So 0-2 with a foul ball back to the screen. We'll do the 0-2 again. Tanner Pachorik, the shortstop. There's a ball headed at the shortstop, Hansel. Hansel's up with it, and Burks had to go up and then come back down on the bag. Looked like he was close to it, about to twist an ankle. 6-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks, the center fielder. Dirks was 1 for 3 in the first game. Had a base hit. He also had a base on balls that yielded a run, and he had a couple of RBI on that base hit. There's a strike right through there. Marcus Dirks, the center fielder for the Blue Devils. Bottom of the first inning action, no score in this one. That misses a little bit up and out. Blue Devils won the first game in 7 innings. It was a 9-inning scheduled game. They won 18-3. This will be a 7-inning affair. That pitch is outside. 2-1 the count. Comes the 2-1. That's outside. White, Zimmerman, Coffer. Did you go with Kofer or Coffer on that? Wall, Hansel, Roten, and Burks, with Hansen Field behind the plate, and Noah Strain on the mound. So 3-2 the count. The quick turnaround, we didn't get an opportunity either way today. Things were rather hectic. Didn't get a chance for much on the pronunciation, so we'll hopefully do the best we can, and you'll have patience with me. 3-2 the count after fouling off that first 3-2 pitch. Strain with the pitch and a swing and a miss by Dirks. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago was 2 for 5 in the first game, had a home run and an RBI base hit. Had a extra bases taken away from him by Holmes in right field. That ball missed just a little bit up. Pretty good looking pitch right there. 1-0 the count. There's a check swing, going to be ruled safe. I'm thinking that when it comes to a check swing on a left-handed hitter and just 2 umpires, I'm not even asking. Here comes the 2-0. There's a ball headed into left center. We'll see if that's going to be extra bases. Santiago heading to second base, sliding in. He plugs the gap in left center for a double. So a 2-out double for Santiago, and that's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth was 1 for 3 with a base hit and a walk in the first game. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at second base in Santiago. There's a strike, low part of the zone strike called. Field, the platoon catcher in this second game. That's down low. 1-1 the count. Nolan the fourth, left fielder at the plate. That ball's in the dirt, nicely blocked by the catcher, Field. 2 balls, 1 strike. Low and outside, so 3-1 the count. That's high and outside for ball 4. It's going to bring up Cade Perry.
Third baseman number 23, Carey.
Perry was 1 for 3. Had a walk, a stolen base. He had a ground out, had a double in there, but he had a ground out that was to the right side to get a score home. Nice job there by Field to block that one. 1-0 the count. 2 outs, 2 on. There's a ball headed into right field. Started to come in. Did the right fielder Kofer. He readjusts and catches that. The Blue Devils get no runs on 1 hit. 2 runners left on. We go to the top of the 2nd inning, no score.
That's all right.
All right, to the top of the 2nd inning we go. There's a high fly ball into shallow left center. Coming on hard is Dirks. Dirks takes care of it, and Kofer is out on a fly to left center.
First baseman number 6, Brett Burks.
It's going to bring up Burks.
Maybe just a little bit more, yeah.
Burks will step in with 1 out and nobody on. Takes ball 1. Burks was 0 for 2 in the first game. He walked right before the first of the first lightning delay. There's a strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Burks the first baseman. There's a fly ball headed to foul territory. Going to hit in the sand and kick down just toward the woods. 1-2 the count now. Comes the pitch from Deere. There's a ground ball that's going to be taken by Pachorik. And Pachorik shoots it over to Santiago for the 6-3 ground out. Did you go with a long eye on that file?
I played with the file in college.
Then that's what we'll go with. Dawson File, he is the catcher. I called him Phil. Public address says File played with one, so there is ball one to him. He starts the day batting 120, the platoon catcher for the Scotties. 2 outs, nobody on. There's a foul ball, so 1-1 the count on him. Well, my comment is about the pronunciations with all the uncertainty of whether we were playing and everything going on. We didn't get much of a chance to go check these things out. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. 2-1 the count. The foul ball out of play. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the second inning. That's outside, 3-2 the count. Have a young lady from France doing my scoreboard today. We may just see if we can hire her permanently to come down and do my scoreboard, and so I can find out about French in France. That's outside, 4-4. I would like to know, we'll get the public address to give this next hitter. It's Grayson Roten, the second baseman. He was 0 for 3 in the first game. He was called out on strikes. First hitter after the first lightning delay. Squares to bunt, pulls back. Want to know the count, runner at first base. I'd like to know a stat of what the percentage is of when a pitcher gets 2 outs first thing in an inning, and then they come back and walk the third hitter. It just seems like that happens so much. They'll get 2 outs and then walk the third guy. 1-1 the count on the second baseman, Grayson Roten. That's outside. 2-1 the count. Top of the second inning action, second game of the doubleheader. Weather is on its way. We hope to get this one in. There's a throw to first. Back in safely is Dawson File. Two and one the count on Roten. Number 9 hitter in the lineup for the Scotties from Highland Community College. 3-1 the count. There's a strike called. The bottom dropped out of that, but not before it got a piece of the strike zone. So 3-2 the count now. The catcher File will be off with the pitch. And that's in the dirt. Going to be a wild pitch. Kirkham got that quickly. I thought he might shoot that behind him for an out there, but second base on balls in the inning. Back to the top of the order. White will step in. He's from Flossmoor, Illinois. He struck out his first time out in this second game. Fouls that pitch off the end of the bat and back into the screen. 0-1 the count. Thanks for joining us today. Thanks for being patient with the weather not playing very nice. 0-1 the count from Deer. There's a swing and a miss of that heater right there. 0-2 the count. Isaiah White, the left fielder. 0-2 the count on him. Way outside. It's going to be a wild pitch. Both runners move up. So 2 outs now with runners at second and third. 1-2 the count on White. It's a high pop-up. Coming in to take care of that is Santiago in foul territory. No runs, no hits, no errors. A couple of runners left on after a couple of walks. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. No score. Stay with us. All right, to the bottom half of the second inning we go. Woida, Barham, and Kirkham. So Barham and Kirkham after Woida. Woida will lead things off here in the bottom of the second inning. Woida was 1 for 2 in the first game, was hit by a pitch, had a walk, and had an RBI double. There's a ball just wide of third base down there. Wall was getting ready to shoot that thing over to first to try and get Woida, but it was foul. There's a strike called so quickly. 0-2 the count on Ian Woida. High and inside. 1-2 the count. Comes the wind and the 1-2 from Strain. That's way outside. 2-2 the count. Breaking ball fouled back into the screen by Woida. So Woida hangs tight, fouls that one away, and earns himself another pitch. Woida, the designated hitter. Comes the 2-2. That's high and inside. 3-2 the count. High fly ball just outside of second base. Roten takes care of that in shallow right field for the first out of the inning.
Second baseman number 11, Harrison Barham.
That's going to bring up Barham. Barham will step in. First pitch is a strike. Started today batting .333. There's a ground ball to the third baseman. Bobbles it for a moment, does Wall, but then shoots it over to Burks for the 5-3 ground out.
Up next, catcher number 32, Clayton Kirkham.
That's going to bring up Kirkham. Kirkham starts the day batting .220. He's the platoon catcher for the Blue Devils in this second game. First pitch to him is down low, 1-0 the count. Winding the pitch from Strain. Fouls that one back. That's headed over to the soccer field. Bouncing around on the track here at KCK. There's a strike called. Breaking ball right on that inside corner. The flag is hanging straight down, not moving at all. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning. That's in the dirt. So 3-2 the count. Fly ball hit it into right field. Kofer comes in to take care of that. So the Blue Devils go 3 up, 3 down here in the second inning. We go to the top of the third, no score. All right, to the top of the third inning we go. Zimmerman, Holmes, and Hansel up for the Huskies. Zimmerman is from Platte City, Missouri. He struck out his first time up in this second game of the doubleheader. Takes up high, 1-0 the count. Swing and a miss of that pitch. One and one the count as Zimmerman leads off the top of the third inning for, I said Huskies earlier, Scotties is what I should have said. Check swing ruled as strike, 1-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout.
That makes the DH number 20, Solomon Holmes.
That's going to bring up the DH, Solomon Holmes. Holmes is from Cleveland, Missouri, went to Barstow High School. He walked his first time up. Out in front of that one, and Coach Hay with the nice play down there. Owen won the count. That's up high. Holmes, the designated hitter in this second game. He played right field. In the other game, there's a swing and a foul. So 1-2 the count on the designated hitter, Solomon Holmes. Comes the 1-2 from Deere. And a swing fouled into the glove of Kirkham. It's going to bring up Hensel. Hensel is from Lenexa, Kansas. He reached on a base on balls his first time up. That first pitch is low and inside for ball one. Comes the 1-0. There's a ball sprayed right into right field, so an inside-out swing and a two-out hit for Hensel. It's going to bring up Bishop.
21, Noah Bishop.
Bishop is from McKinney, Texas. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. He grounded into a fielder's choice to Pachorik at short his first time up. Swing through that. First pitch from Deere for strike one. Going over to first base with that one. Back in safely is Hensel. Comes the 0-1 from Deere. It's down low, nicely blocked by Kirkham. Stays outside. 2-1 the count. Three and one the count. There's a strike called 3-2 the count. Getting a little bit of a soft breeze out of the south. Sprayed that one over toward the dugout of Highland. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at first base is Hensel. He's the shortstop. Third baseman Bishop at the plate. Runner goes, swing and a miss. So 3 strikeouts and a base hit in that inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. We go to the bottom of the third. No score. All right, to the bottom half of the third inning we go. Schmock, Pachorik, and Dirks scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Schmock was 3 for 4, had a couple of singles, a double with 4 RBI in the first game. He takes ball 1. It's a high fly ball to deep center field. On the run is Zimmerman. And the home run to the deepest, fairly deepest part of the park, just to the right of the 400 sign. Excuse me, put the Blue Devils on top. So back to the top of the order and Pachorik. Pachorik is from Aurora, Colorado. He steps in with nobody out and nobody on. He fouls that one away over to the soccer facility. So the Blue Devils on the board with that home run to center field. There's a swing and a miss, so quickly 0-2 the count. On the shortstop, Tanner Pachorik, he grounded out to Hansel at short his first time on. There's a ball that's plugging the gap into left center and headed into second, sliding with the double. So a home run and a double, and the Blue Devils are set up for some runs. They're in business here. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. He'll step in with still nobody out. 1 run in. Runner at second base, squares to bunt, pulls back and takes ball 1, 1-0 the count. Squares to bunt, bunts it foul. So 1-1 the count now on the center fielder, Marcus Dirks. He struck out his first time up. Comes the 1-1. And the bunt is down. And the first baseman, Burks, took a look at third. And after that, Dirks has the base hit. It's going to bring up Santiago. He had a double his first time up. Santiago is from Calle, Puerto Rico. He'll step in with runners at the corners and nobody out. Swing and a miss of that heater right there. White, Zimmerman, Kofer across the outfield wall. Hansel, Roten, and Burks file behind the plate, strain on the mound. Runner goes, swing and a miss. So 2 strikes on Santiago and the stolen base by Dirks. Pachorik at third, Dirks at second, Santiago at the plate. That's up high, 1-2 the count. There's a ball headed to deep right field. It's going to send Kofer back and going to have the sac fly. So Santiago with the sac fly to right field. So the sac fly scores the second run of the inning, and that's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth is from Fort Worth, Texas. Fouls that back to the screen. He reached on a base on balls. His first at bat in this second game. Fouls that back to the screen. So quickly 0-2 the count on Freddie Nolan the fourth, the left fielder. The wind in the pitch from Strain, that's up high. 1-2 the count. There's a ball headed for the gap in right center. Going to be RBI, extra bases. Nolan the fourth probably headed to third, and he plugs the gap. And a stand-up triple for Nolan the fourth. So an RBI triple to right center. The Blue Devils have 3 runs in the inning.
Third baseman number 23, Perry.
That's going to bring up Perry. Perry is from Omaha, Nebraska. He flew out to Kofer in right field his last time up. That's up high, 1-0 the count. See if he can get a fly ball deep enough to score Nolan the fourth or get something on the outfield grass. There's a high fly ball to deep right center. And that's going to be extra bases for Perry. Perry is into third, so a long run for Zimmerman and Kofer, and neither one of them can get there.
Designated hitter number 48, Ian Whiteout.
So another RBI triple, back-to-back triples to right center. That's going to bring up Ian Whiteout. Whiteout is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He popped out to Roten into shallow right field his first time up. 2-0 the count to him. Runner at third, 1 out. There's a high fly ball to left field. See if that's going to be fair or not. And it is a fair ball, and Voida with the 2-run home run. The Blue Devils now up 6-0. Voida with the home run. Launched it high and far. Did Voida with that one. 6-0 with 1 out. It's going to bring up Barham when we get through with the visit to the mound. So Coach Hay goes to the mound for the visit. We'll take a short break. We'll be back. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure and like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you'll be notified every time we make an upload or go live. Thanks again. All right, so the visit to the mound is over. It's going to bring up Barham.
Now batting second baseman number 11, Harrison Barham.
Barham is from Kansas City, Missouri. He grounded out to Wall at third base his first time up. The bases are empty with one out here in the bottom of the third. There's a foul ball headed over to the soccer field. 0-1 the count on Barham. Headed down the right field line. That's going to be foul and out of play. So 0-2 the count on the second baseman, Harrison Barham. In the dirt. 1-2 the count. There's a base hit. That's fair and down into the corner. Extra bases for Barham. And he cruises into second base with a stand-up double. It's going to bring up Kirkham.
Next up, catcher number 32, Colton Kirkham.
Kirkham is from Platte City, Missouri. He flew out to Kofor in right field his last time up. One out, runner at second base. That falls just a little bit low. Ball 1-0 the count. Blue Devils with 6 runs here in this inning on 7 hits so far. There's a ball headed to deep left field. Kirkham sends White back to the warning track. White with a ninth running catch out in left field. It's a second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Smock. Smock is from Aurora, Colorado. He had a home run to deep center field his last time up. Shoots that one down the right field line. That's going to be into the bullpen of the Scotties. 0-1 the count on the right fielder, Spencer Smock. Way outside. 1-1 the count. One ball, one strike, 2 outs. A swing and a miss. 1-2 the count. It's a ball that's going to be taken by the shortstop, Hansel, but that's going to be an infield hit by Smock. So back to the top of the order. Blue Devils have batted around +1 so far. It's going to bring up Pachorik. Pachorik had a double. The second hitter of this inning. He grounded out to Hansel at short his first time up in this game. Over the Head of Coach Goldback on a high chop. 0-1 the count. On Tanner Pachorik, the shortstop. Runner goes. High pop up on the infield. Third baseman Wall is calling for it, and he has it for the third out of the inning. So the Blue Devils get 6 runs on 8 hits. Couple left on. We go to the top of the 4th inning. Blue Devils leading 6-0. All right, to the top of the 4th inning we go. Blue Devils leading 6-0. Kofer, Burks, and File scheduled up for the Scotties. Kofer is from Joplin, Missouri. First pitch is up high, 1-0 the count. Kofer flew out to Dirks in left center his first time up. That ball misses outside. 2-0 the count. Swing and a miss of that heater. Fouled it into the glove of the catcher, Kirkham. 2-1 the count. In the dirt. 3-1 the count. The right fielder, Leighton Kofer, leading things off. So ground ball, Perry up with it, loads up the rifle and shoots it over to Santiago for the 5-3 ground out. He lays out, gets to his feet after he catches the ball, and over to Santiago for the out. It's going to bring up Burks. Burks is from Claremore, Oklahoma. That misses low and outside for ball 1. Burks grounded out to Pachorik at short his first time up in this second game. That's up high for ball 2, 2-0 the count. There's a strike, catches the inside corner at the knees. 2-1 the count. So ball headed down the right field line. Gonna be foul. Two balls, 2 strikes, and an out. Brett Burks, the first baseman for Highland. Strike 3 called. Catches the inside corner, does that heater. It's going to bring up Dawson File.
Number 26, Dawson File.
File is from McPherson, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on. Here in the top of the 4th inning, Blue Devils leading 6-0. There's a ground ball back up the middle. Diving attempt by Barham, but the 2-out hit by the catcher File. He reached on a base on balls his first time up.
Next up, the second baseman, number 1, Grayson Roten.
It's going to bring up Roten. Roten is from Gardner, Kansas. He'll step in with 2 outs and a runner at first base. Perry in at the edge of the grass. Little toss over to first. Nothing going on with File over there. Toss over to first base again. Comes the first pitch to Roten. There's a strike inside corner. Roten reached on a base on balls his first time up. That was in the 2nd inning of this one. There's a ball headed into right field. Ball hopped up on Smock and over to third. Allows really close at second base, but into second he moved up on the throw, so Roten with the base hit. Back to the top of the order, and Isaiah White. He struck out in the first, popped out down the line toward home base, just in foul territory to the first baseman Santiago, his first at bat. So 2 outs, 2 on. Runners at second and third. File at third, Roten at second. Breaking balls outside. 1-0 the count on the left fielder, Isaiah White. High foul ball. Looks like it's going to get out of play, and it does. 1-1 the count now. Comes the 1-1 from Deere. Stays way outside, so 2-1 the count. There's a ground ball back to Deere. He handles it, steps, shoots it over to Santiago for the 1-3 ground out. No runs on 2 hits. 2 runners left on. We go to the bottom half of the 4th inning. We've made it halfway through this one. Blue Devils, they lead at 6-0. Pitching change made by Scotty, the Scotties. Noah Kirk comes in. He's from Lawrence, Kansas. Kirk will toe the slab. He's a right-hander. 9.35 ERA. 6 appearances. He steps in, and there's a ball down the left field line, and that's going to be out of play. Dirks, Santiago, and Nolan the fourth scheduled up. Dirks struck out in the first, had a base hit in the third, and a stolen base. 0-1 the count on him. Swing and a miss of that heater. Side armor, Noah Kirk on the mound. Righty for Highland. 0-2 the count on Dirks. Foul ball headed down the left field line. That's going to be down in the bullpen area. Owing to the count. Dirks at the plate. There's a ball headed up the middle, so a 2-strike leadoff base hit for Dirks. All right, I looked down. Did he get there as a double, or did he move up? It's a double. Thank you, man. So Dirks with the double. Hustling the minute out of the box. That's going to bring up Santiago.
I looked down too.
Pardon?
He's that fast. I looked down too. I missed it.
That misses outside, ball 1. Usually I'm looking down to change the cameras and so forth, but today the cameras are just, but I appreciate you doing the scoreboard, Laura. One of the KCK workers, soccer players, she was helping today with the scoreboard, and I appreciate it anytime because I know that you guys like to see that scoreboard, and I like to see it up there too. 2-0 the count. Santiago fouls that back. That's going to get out of play. So 2-1 the count. So a hustle double for Dirks to center field. Santiago, he's had a double in the first and a sac fly in the third. Comes the 2-1 pitch, and the runner goes, and the stolen base by Dirks. Yes, he swung at it, making 2-2 the count. It looked like a protection swing more than anything. There's a high fly ball. It's going to be over into the woods. Deep into the woods with that one. We'll do the 2-2 again. Bottom of the fourth inning action. We're just 2 outs past halfway in this one. 7-inning scheduled game. It's a high fly ball into shallow right field. Roten out to take care of that, and he's got it. That's for the first out of the inning. So the throw from right field was way over the catcher, but we'll have probably another opportunity here. We'll see. Santiago's thinking, shoot, I didn't get the sac fly out of that, but that's going to bring up Nolan the fourth. He reached on a base on balls in the first and had an RBI triple in the third. That ball rolls just a little bit outside. 1-0 the count on the left fielder, Freddie Nolan the fourth. And there's a hit by a pitch. That's going to bring up Perry.
Third baseman number 23, Cade Perry.
Perry flew out to right field his first time up in this game. In the third inning, he was the second in the back-to-back RBI triples. He had an RBI triple to right center. He's up there now with one out, runners at the corners for the Blue Devils. They lead 6-0 here in the bottom of the fourth, and throwing through, but going to be cut off short by Roten in case the runner went from home. So the stolen base by Nolan, the fourth. 0-1 the count on the third baseman, Cade Perry. Breaking ball makes it back to the zone. So 0-2 on the third baseman, Cade Perry. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Umpire says a foul. So a foul tip, but down to the turf and back up to the glove, so not held by the catcher foul. So we'll do the 0-2 again. Still one out, still two runners on at second and third. Way outside. 1-2 the count now. Blue Devils leading 6-0. That's outside, 2-2 the count. The Scotties of Highland, no runs on 3 hits. Blue Devils, 6 runs on 10 hits. 1 out here in the bottom of the fourth inning. There's a base hit shot into left field. Nolan the fourth and Dirks will both score on that. So Perry with the base hit plates 2 more. That makes it 8-0.
Next up, the designated hitter, number 48, Ian Woida.
That's going to bring up Woida. He popped out in shallow right field to Roten at second base. His in the second inning for his first at bat, then a 2-run home run into left field, his second at bat.
Is that a pixel or is that not?
It's supposed to be 8. When you click sometimes it makes it 2.
Is that a ball?
It was a ball. Low for ball 1. I was looking at the scoreboard because it looks like 6 and 3
It's 8.
to make that 8.
6 plus 3 equals 8.
It does?
Yeah. You know that?
Huh. Is that new math?
Yeah. It's the new math.
All right, Blue Devils leading 8-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. There's a strike called. I thought maybe that score was put in based on what it saw in the innings. I didn't know if that was a separate integer or what. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Woida with the high chopper, the third baseman, is going to get that and over to first base for the 5-3 ground out for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Barham.
Number 11, Harrison Barham.
Barham grounded out to Wall at third base in the second. Had a double into the left field corner his second time up. He steps in with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Blue Devils leading 8-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. That ball's low and inside. 1-0 the count. There's a ground ball headed up the middle. That's going to be an RBI base hit for Barham. Scoring on that is Perry. So Barham drives in another run. That makes it 9-0. That's going to bring up Colton Kirkham, the catcher. He flew out to right in the second, flew out to left in the third. He's up there with 2 outs and a runner at first base. There's a strike called outside corner. Noah Kirk from Lawrence, Kansas. Right-handed side armor on the mound for Highland. 0-1 the count. There's a breaking ball, catches the outside corner. 0-2 the count. Colton Kirkham, the catcher of this second game, platoon catcher. There's a fly ball headed down the right field line. That's going to be into the bullpen area. Nothing going on in the bullpen area for the Scotties. A little bit of stretching work is all that's going on down in the Blue Devils bullpen. 2 strikes, Kirkham in tight. There's a fly ball headed to deep center field. Zimmerman shades over a little bit toward right field and hauls that in. So the Blue Devils get 3 runs on 3 hits. We go to the top of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 9-0. All right, pitching change has been made by the Blue Devils. Dylan Blazer will come in. He is from Shawnee, Kansas. Blazer brings to the mound with him a 3.70 ERA. He has 14 appearances. 2-2 is his record. 24 1/3 innings pitched. 27 strikeouts to 18 walks in his 24 1/3 innings of work. So we go to the top of the 5th inning. Zimmerman, Holmes, and Hansel scheduled up for the Scotties. Zimmerman struck out in the first and struck out in the third. Foul ball on that first pitch. 0-1 the count on Zimmerman, the center fielder. High and inside, 1-1 the count. Zimmerman leads off the top of the 5th for the Scotties. 1-1 the count on him. There's a ground ball cut off by Perry. Loads up the rifle, shoots it, and pulls Santiago off the base, but Santiago with the tag. So the 5-3 with the tag.
Now at the DH, number 20, Solomon Holmes.
That brings up Holmes. Solomon Holmes, he's the designated hitter. He walked in the first, struck out on a foul tip that was held by Kirkham in the third. First pitch to him is a ball. Want to know the count? That's high and outside. Blazer on in relief of Deer. Deer went 4 innings, gave up no runs on 3 hits. 3-0 the count on Solomon Holmes. Foul ball back into the net. Swing and a miss of the heater. 3-2 the count. Foul ball sprayed back into the net. We'll do the 3-2 again. Low and outside. So a 1-out walk issued to Holmes. That brings up Gage Hansel, the shortstop. Hansel walked in the first, had a base hit to right field in the third. First pitch is a ball to him. 1-0 the count. Foul ball headed for the woods. One ball, one strike, 1 out. Nine-zero lead for the Blue Devils here. Runner goes and is going to be out. Each of the stolen bases that we've had thrown out by the Blue Devils, they've been sliding to the outfield side trying to get the arm in, and I think if they were sliding straight at the bag, the arm would be there already, but nonetheless, a caught stealing of Holmes. There's another foul ball headed for the woods. So 2 outs now after the caught stealing. 3-2 the count on Hansel. Foul ball back to the screen. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. There's a pitch, another ball headed into foul territory. Couple of Blue Devils over there looking for a couple of previous foul balls. So we'll do the 3-2 again. That's up high. So a 2-out walk to Hansel. It's going to bring up Bishop. Bishop is the third baseman. He grounded out into a fielder's choice to Pachorik over to Barham in the first and a strikeout in the third. There's strike one called, 0-1 the count. Dylan Blazer on in relief of Caleb Deere. That's outside, 1-0 the count. Another pitch outside, 2-1 the count. There's a strike called at the belt outside half of the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Foul ball headed for the soccer complex. Nolan the fourth, Dirks and Schmock across the outfield, left to right. Perry, Pachorik, Barham, Santiago, left to right across the infield. Kirkham behind the plate and Blazer on the mound. That pitch is up high. Count goes full. Runner goes. There's a ground ball at Pachorik. Grabs a good hop. Throws a one hopper over to Santiago, and he couldn't handle it.
That's Finley at shortstop.
So that's going to be an E6.
Jerry, that's Finley at shortstop. Holden Finley.
Finley is at shortstop. Thank you very much. Holden Finley comes in at shortstop. In the Indy, I am advised by my help in the press box. 1-0 the count. So Finley gets that error instead of Pachorik. Swing and a miss of that heater there. 1-1 the count. 2 outs, runners at first and second. Is that the only defensive change out there?
Yes.
Thank you. There's a swing and a miss. So 1-2 the count. Thank you, men. I appreciate it. Comes the 1-2. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. No runs on no hits. 2 left on. We go to the bottom half of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 9-0. Just in fairness that whenever there is a change out in the field, that until that person comes to the plate to bat, they do not have to be told to the umpire. So that's why sometimes we don't get those. And that's why I appreciate the help from the guys up in the press box. We go to the bottom half of the Blue Devils leading the bottom half of the 5th, 9-0. I'll be back. All right. Bottom half of the fifth inning, 7 innings scheduled game, 9-0 lead. Smock had a home run in the third and a base hit also in the third. Had 2 at-bats as the Blue Devils batted around +2 in that inning. There's a strike, 1-1 the count. Blue Devils could walk this thing off with 1 run here. The Scotties and the pitcher Noah Kirk trying to avert that. 2-1 the count.
No way. You can get rid of it. Like, it can go away. My grandma had it.
That's high and inside. Not sure if Smock is thinking walk-up from home run here, but wonder how many times in his baseball career he's had 2 home runs in one game. A high fly ball down the right field line. Coffer coming over and can't get that one just right at the bullpen area. You look down each of the bullpen areas, there's just a little bit of warning track in foul territory that comes out in toward the field, and has a tough play to make there. So Smock will have another opportunity with a little new life there. 3-2 the count. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. Guess that one's probably on me. It's going to bring up Holden Finley. Finley came in to the field last inning. Finley reached on a base on balls when he pinch hit in the first game. There's a strike called. 0-1 the count on him. That's down low. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. No runs on 3 hits for Highland. 9 runs on 12 hits for the Blue Devils. Breaking ball, waits on it and fouls it off, headed over toward the soccer field. 1-2 the count on Holden Finley. That's outside. 2-2 the count. Comes the 2-2 pitch from Kirk. There's a ball headed to the second baseman, Roten. Roten up with it and over to Burks for the 4-3 ground out. Pinch hitter number 45, Carter Towns. Towns will pinch hit here. Towns is from Kansas City, Missouri. Fouls that first pitch away. Towns starts the day batting .207. 0-1 the count on him. There's a ground ball with a couple of high chops. That high chop gets clear up to the chest of the first baseman. We'll see how that is scored. The way that ball come up, he should have been able to have it and step on the bag. So that'll bring up Santiago. force the boys into a decision here, man. Hit or air? Air on. It just hadn't gone up on the board. That is an E3 on Burks. Santiago at the plate, 0-1 the count on him. Runner at first base is Towns. He reached on the air. The second hop of that ball came up high, but should have been handled easily, and then step on the bag. 1-1 the count on Santiago. Swing and a miss of that pitch. Santiago had a double in the first, a sac fly in the third, and a fly out to right field in the fifth. 1-2 the count. There's a foul ball back to the screen. We'll do the 1-2 pitch again. Winning run is at first base. That is Carter Towns. Santiago at the plate. That's outside. 2-2 the count. It's a high fly ball to left center. That's going to be taken by White, the left fielder. So Santiago gives it a ride, but not far enough to walk this thing off. Blue Devils get no runs on no hit. They have one left on from the air. We go to the top of the sixth inning. Blue Devils leading 9-0. I'll be back. Blue Devils make the pitching change. Number 50, Caden Howell, comes in. He's from Lansing, Kansas. Howell comes to the mound with his 2.65 ERA. 1-2 is his record. 14 appearances, 17 innings, 21 strikeouts versus 17 walks. He will try and keep that old score at 9-0 here in the top of the sixth inning for the Blue Devils. Defensive changes for the Blue Devils. See if the guys can help me with that. Santiago still at first. Kirkham. Nolan, the fourth, is still in left.
First baseman number 6, Brett Burks.
That brings up Burks. Burks will be the first to face. There's a line drive straight into the gap in left center for the leadoff base hit.
Next up, the catcher, number 26, Dawson File.
That brings up File. Foul reached on a base on balls in the second. Had a base hit right back up the middle in the fourth. There's a strike right through there by Howell. Owen won the count. Outside, that's going to be a wild pitch. Kirkham with a pretty good effort, no, a real good effort to block it, but so wide out, and when it pops away, Burks headed to second. So Burks moves up on the wild pitch. 1-1 the count now. Another ball in the dirt, blocked nicely by Kirkham. Two balls and a strike. Breaking ball drops down a little low. 3-1 the count on the catcher, Dawson File. There's a strike, catches the inside corner at the knees. So 3-2 the count. Blue Devils had 6 in the third, 3 in the fourth for 9. 12 hits. That's ball 4. So runners at first and second, nobody out. Grayson Roten, the second baseman, will step in. He reached on a base on balls in the second. Had a base hit to right field in the fourth. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for a strike. 0-1 the count on the second baseman, Roten. In the dirt, another wild pitch, going to let the runners move up. That misses outside, 2-1 the count. Two balls, one strike. Runner at second and third. There's a breaking ball right through there, so 2-2 the count. Comes the 2-2. And a swing and a miss for the strikeout. Had that one by him before he thought, hey, I better swing. Had a little bit of heat on that heater. So back to the top of the order. That's going to bring up Isaiah White. He's 0 for 3 in this second game. A strikeout, a fly out, pop out, and a ground ball back to the pitcher. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. 0-1 the count on Isaiah White. Comes the 0-1. Another breaking ball right through there outside half of the plate, makes it back down to the zone. 0-2 the count now. Foul ball, high chopper over by the dugout of the Blue Devils at third base. We'll do the 0-2 again. High and inside. Zimmerman over in the on-deck circle. Looking for another attempt, barring an strange double play, an unusual double play here since just one out. 1-2 the count. And there's a ground ball that's going to be taken by the shortstop and over to Santiago. So the 6-3 ground out yields a run. Makes it 9-1.
Number 10, Dylan Zimmerman.
That's going to bring up Zimmerman. Zimmerman struck out in the first, struck out in the third. Grounded out to Cade Perry. And there's a hit by a pitch. So runners at first and second now. Let him walk that off a little bit. Says he's good to go.
Next up to DH, Solomon Holmes.
It's going to bring up Solomon Holmes. He's walked, struck out, and walked. His second walk, he was caught stealing. Two outs, that's fouled away. 0-1 the count. Designated hitter Solomon Holmes, 0-1 the count on him. That's outside a bit. 1-1 the count.
I think there's a guy running back with it. That's why he wants to get it. It's about to throw it. I swear I just don't like him.
That's up high. 2-1 the count.
Don't stop this. Don't 30-minute delay.
Well, I mean, he gets the pings on his phone. So.
2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and second. Blue Devils leading 9-1. Breaking ball stays just a little bit inside, so 3-1 the count.
What appointment did Trevor have that's like we got tonsils? Oh, I forgot he's getting that done. His face is going to be so funny. That was going to be so entertaining.
Comes the 3-1 to Holmes. There's a ground ball to short. Fielder's choice. The 6-3 ground out. So the Scotties get 1 run on 2 hits. We go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. Blue Devils leading 9-1. I'll be back. All right, to the bottom of the sixth we go. Nolan the fourth, Perry and Woida scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Blue Devils leading 9-1. Nolan the fourth, he's walked, had an RBI triple and was hit by a pitch and had a stolen base. There's a strike first pitch from Noah Kirk. Noah Kirk has back for his third inning of work. He came in the top of the fourth, or the bottom of the fourth, excuse me. There's strike two called on Nolan the fourth. On to the count as Nolan the fourth leads off the bottom of the sixth. There's strike three called. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Perry.
Now up to third baseman, Katie Perry.
Perry flew out to right in the first, had an RBI triple in the third, and 2 RBI single in the fifth, so 2 for 3 with 3. There's a ball headed to the right center gap. And that ball is caught by the right field Kofer. So bid for extra bases by Perry there. Going to have a pinch hitter for the Blue Devils. Tannen Buss will step in.
Pinch hitting for the Blue Devils, number 44, Tannen Buss.
So Tannen Buss with the pinch hit opportunity. Nolan the fourth goes down looking on strikes, and the right fielder Kofer takes away extra bases from Perry. Buss at the plate. Strike called. Owen won the count on Buss. There's a base hit into right field. So Buss with the base hit. It's going to bring up Barham. Barham 2 for 3. He grounded out in the second, had a double in the third, and an RBI single in the fifth. He'll step in. 2 outs and a runner at first. Check swing. Ball sails outside on the breaking ball for 1-0 the count. There's a ball headed into right field, and Kofer is going to take care of that. So the Blue Devils get no runs on 1 hit. 1 left on. We go to the top of the 7th inning. 9-1, the Blue Devils lead. Pitching change made by the Blue Devils. Number 13, Weston Freeze comes in. Freeze is from Salina, Kansas. He has an 11.15 ERA. 0-1 is his record. 10 appearances. 15 and a third innings pitched. 15 strikeouts versus 9 walks. He will try and close this thing out as we're in the top of the 7th. This is a 7-inning scheduled game. The Blue Devils here in the top of the 2nd trying to take the 2nd game. They took the first one 18-3 in 7 innings. Hansel has walked twice and had a base hit. Walked in the first, had a base hit in the 3rd, and walked in the 5th. Down the count, 0-1. 2 frees. That's inside. 1-1 the count. Hansel, Bishop, and Kofer scheduled up for Highland. There's a high pop-up on the infield, the shortstop. Finley will take care of that for the first out of the inning.
Next up, third baseman, Noah Bishop.
It's going to bring up Bishop. Bishop grounded into a fielder's choice to Pachorik in the first, struck out in the 3rd, reached on an error in the 5th. He takes ball 1, 1-0 the count. Bishop, the third baseman. There's a ball headed to deep left field over a few steps. Going to take care of that is Nolan, the 4th. Kofer will come up. He's been out on a fly, a ground out, and a strikeout. 0 for 3 so far on the day. Currently, Highland down to their last out of this one, 9-1 the lead. That's low and outside for ball 1. 1-0 the count on the right fielder, Leighton Kofer. 2-0 the count now. Swing and a miss of that pitch. 2-1 the count. Two balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. That's down low. 3-1 the count. 1 run on 4 hits for the Scotties. 9 runs on 13 hits for the Blue Devils. There's a high fly ball. That's going to be taken by the right fielder. And that's the end of this one. The Blue Devils win this one 9-1. So the Blue Devils win the first one 18-3. The Blue Devils win 2 today, 18-3 and 9-1 game. The final 2 games of this series will be up at Highland on Saturday, provided weather stays as it currently looks. That'll leave us just 1 4-game series left versus Callies. So the last 2 with Highland and then 4 with Cali, and then we'll figure out what the playoffs are going to look like. Mr. Wojda has the links for the games up in Highland. Those are also listed at 4tees.com. Go to the Blue Devils page. Everybody be safe today going home. Blue Devils take the first 2, 18-3 and 9-1. I'll see you next time. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you.